Yes, people, welcome back to the Graft Kings podcast. We are here in Newscaf in Marbella, Porto Banús, and we've got the man himself, Rob Lipsett. How you doing, man?
Put it there. Thank you so much for having me on. This is the first time I've ever done a podcast in Porto Banús or even in a restaurant, so I'm excited and pumped and really appreciate you guys going through all the effort to set this up. So thank you.
Thanks for coming down, bro.
First one with a live audience.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
Just for everyone watching, we've actually got a whole restaurant behind these cameras, all eating their brunch. And stuff like
looking at us like we're from a different planet.
They're like, why have they got cameras set up in a restaurant? But yeah, we wanted to make a statement. Newscaf is one of the most renowned places in Porto Banús, in Marbella, and they were kind enough to host us. So shout out to Newscaf. Thank you very much. And once again, thanks for coming on, man.
No worries.
Appreciated. It's a bit of a full circle moment for me.
Okay.
So I don't know if you remember, but there was a time in 2021 Mykonos.
We're already. I'm like, oh Jesus, here we go. 2021 Mykonos. That's good.
It's my first night there. I see you roll by. I've been a supporter of yours for years, watch all your YouTube stuff. And I vlogged, and you come in the vlog and you done a little motivational speech, said, don't quit, keep going at it. It's one of the best things you've ever done in your life. And I caught that on camera, and then now I'm doing a podcast with. Now you're on our podcast.
Oh my God! First of all, I need to see that clip.
I'll show you it. Yeah.
Second of all, I'm like, how far gone was I in that clip? Giving motivational speeches then in Mykonos. But look, that's what I truly believe in. You know, a lot of people, they'll put up a camera to my face, and it's just what I'm like. You know, even on this podcast, I say what I'm feeling, and so I'm glad we captured that moment.
Have you always been that open, or that kind of? Let's just say some people, it takes some time to be around people, then they start kind of opening up.
I used to be.
That confidence, or have you always been like that?
I've always used to be extremely negative, very shy, and in school I was the class clown, and I looked at myself as a bit of a joke and not a serious person and not someone that could get anything done. And then my life was not going the way I wanted to be. I had no direction on where I wanted to go. I was failing every single class. I was failing college. I got into a course I hated and I failed it. Couldn't even pass a shitty course. I was getting fired from every single job, and I said, there's nothing that I'm going towards. I've no goals in life, and I need to change my mindset because that's where every single thing begins. So this sounds funny, but I read a book called The Secret. It's the most basic book. It's literally self-motivation for idiots. It's like literally positive thinking for dumbasses. But hey, it worked for me, and it just taught me to control my thoughts. And then the following morning, I woke up and I said, I'm going to think just completely differently. I'm going to think glass half full no matter what. I'm going to think I'm the greatest. I'm going to think I'm destined for great things. I can do anything. I'm going to look at myself in the mirror. So you the man, all this corny shit, right? I don't care. And my life literally changed overnight. So I just became a different person. This is around when I was age 20. And just from that night, after just reading, it's like the first book I ever read. Just from reading that, I just had a switch in my mindset and my life changed overnight.
That's mad. What a story, man.
Everyone needs that pinnacle moment, don't they, to be able to kind of change.
I think people need to look themselves in the mirror and fucking shout at themselves for a while, like an insane person. You know, you need that moment where you just flip the switch and you say, I'm an animal, I can do anything.
That's so true. Do you ever get thinking like that, yeah? That's a really, really hard mindset change to have and incorporate, yeah? Do you ever feel like, because I'm sure some of the boys watching this would love to think like that all the time, but did you ever get a moment, or even still now maybe, think, am I being selfish thinking like that? Like, am I really that, not imposter syndrome, I suppose it is a little bit of imposter syndrome, right? Thinking, am I really that guy? But then I suppose you have to fucking believe it, right?
We'll talk about imposter syndrome. That is something that I struggle with to this day, to the extreme. But look, you've got two choices, two ways to live your life. You can either hate yourself or you love yourself.
Fair.
This is your choice. Yeah. All right, and I know it's very simplified, and it's like telling a broke person, hey, just be rich, or a homesteader, hey, just get a home. But what else do you say? What's your other option? And it's not just blind, stupid positivity. Obviously, you have to make yourself a game plan to get to where you want to be in life. But the first point is how you view yourself, and it's actually. You don't have to make money. You don't have to get sales. You just have to change it in here. So you can actually do it immediately. It's actually I understand people saying, don't be broke. You actually have to do a lot of things. The only thing you have to do to view yourself differently is just some numbers going on in here.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Did you ever have real moments of, maybe you still do, self-doubt? And then how did you then get yourself through that?
I've so much moments of self-doubt, especially when you're launching a new project. You know, you're taking on something new, a new venture that you've never done before. Like, I'm doing a big event here in Marbella in June 7th. It's now sold out.
Man.
But like when every time I've been doing events for years, and when you first put it live, you're like, no one's gonna fucking buy it. You're like, it's gonna be me there in an empty room with a microphone, like, hey guys, this is how you be motivational, you know, and that's it. And so it's just part of the journey that even like the most successful people I know, like billionaires, like most successful people I know, they still have those moments of self-doubt. But what you got to do, like, it's not, and that's imposter syndrome, self-doubt or imposter, whatever you want to call it, right? It doesn't go away. Fine. So learning to accept it and say, hey, look, I'm probably going to feel like this sometimes, but just embrace it, acknowledge it, and throw it into the fucking port, you know?
It's nice to know that's normal, though.
It absolutely is. Normal. And for me as well, when I see like guys that I really look up to and I hear they've got those issues as well, I'm very happy. You know, it puts me at ease.
Yeah, nice, man.
Yeah, and also another thing as well, like, you know, I'm not positive the whole time. I have these freakouts. I have these days, but as long as your net total, you know, as long as as a whole, you know, you're going forward and you're in a good place. But that's the main thing.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Yeah.
With this podcast, right, we are at an infancy stage still, but we feel like we've made such a big impact. We kind of speak between ourselves and go, like, how have we done this? Like, how have we, even right now, I'm thinking, how have we ended up here?
It's crazy.
Interviewing yourself and doing this and growing our podcast. So do you ever kind of look back at what you've done and go, how I actually got to where I am?
Yeah.
Because it is very rare for people to end up in the situation you're in to become a successful. I know it seems like success is all about, but a lot of people do front it. It's like the proof is always in the pudding, and you've showed that. So do you ever kind of look back at what you've done and go, how have I actually done that? Like, how am I actually here?
Yeah, so the most surreal things for me that I still haven't gotten used to, and like, I don't know if I ever will, is subscribers on YouTube. Because that's the hardest thing in the world. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. It's harder than any business, any event I've ever done. YouTube is the hardest fucking thing in the world. That is why like guys like Mr. Beast are billionaires, because they deserve to be, because it's the hardest thing in the world. So YouTube's the hardest thing in the world. So when I see that I've got nearly 500,000 subscribers, I'm like, I can't. They're not the biggest fitness channel in my country. That's crazy. That
is mental.
Okay, so there's that I will never get used to, and I'm forever grateful for. And then also my house, my villa. I'm like, I wake up and I look at the walls and I'm like, someone's gonna take this from me. Like, someone's gonna knock on the door and be like, all right, jig's up, let's go. You're out.
How nice to know though, man, that like that was all you. No handouts, no help, no fuck all. It's like, what that feeling must be quite surreal. Like you say, when you wake up and think, I did this myself. Do you know what I mean? This was all me and no help.
So actually, this is a good topic, right? So. I come from like a really nice area in Dublin. I'm not a fucking homeless rags to riches story. Come from a really good home. I went to like a really good school and everything. And so when I was starting out, people would say, this posh boy got everything handed to him. He got all these handouts. I'll get to that. I got zero money handed to me, but I'll get to that in a minute. And then I reply, I go, what? My mum gave me YouTube subs? How the fuck? How do you do that?
So
I go, no. You can look at my first ever video. You can look at my journey. I had to go out and do all that. You can't. What I've done, you can't get handed. You can't become a fitness coach, and you can't give yourself all the information on how to change people's lives. That's not handed to me. And then if you want to actually talk about the money thing, so my family's business went under completely. My family went bankrupt. I had 3 older sisters. They all moved out of the house. My parents divorced. Literally, so I was in my family house and it was being rented out. So I was in my family house with a bunch of strangers. This is a terrible point in my life. Every room was rented, so it was cheap. And so I'd have these rough people staying in my house, steal my laptop, stealing out of my room, stealing money. Once I went into my kitchen, someone started a fight on me. So it was
in your own home?
In my own home. It was surreal. This was actually just before the turning point, when I flipped a switch. And I had €300 in my bank account. I never forget, from working in Hollister, working in retail.
One of them guys,
Glamour,
boys.
Yeah. Flexing outside. They're like, you come from money. I'm like, bitch, I was working in Hollister. No, it was a good time. But anyways, so I had that 300 and I bought I put it towards a Canon G7X, a camera. Yeah, it's still a great camera. I think they got like Mark III now. And that's where I started, you know?
Nice,
so it's still just surreal to me and I'm very grateful for it.
Love that, man. You seem very humble.
I try to be, because if you're not, it takes the fun out of everything.
Yeah, so
really,
true.
You're kind of just ruining your own life. If you're cocky, take everything for granted, you're just going to have a worse life experience.
That's nice, man.
What's people's perception of you, do you reckon, before they meet you? Like, is it humble, or do they think something else and go, oh, do you know what, bro? I thought you'd be like this, but you're actually really nice.
Yeah. So people are like, "Oh, I thought you were more jacked." But
I didn't want to say it.
I'm wearing a baggy T-shirt.
And then he took his top off.
But no, so the reason, the way I've actually built like my hardcore audience, and this has also allowed me to this is like the main source of my business. So my Instagram and all this, it's actually bigger than my YouTube and all. But doing podcasts like this, and this is why you guys have done so well. Podcasts and videos.
Yeah.
That's how people get to know you.
Yeah.
If I post a picture of my abs and it gets 50,000 likes, you don't fucking know anything about me. It can be Google Images. It doesn't matter. No one reads the caption. They're just onwards. And that's another thing with TikTok. They watch a 5-second dance.
That's it,
They scroll next. You're not actually making an impact on anyone. So when people watch, that's why I'm so heavy on grateful for YouTube and podcasts. When people watch podcasts like this, you're having to sit down with the lads. You're having to sit down, and so you're really building a nice. You're building a nice. You're building a nice relationship with the viewer. That's why Joe Rogan is the biggest influencer, quote unquote, influencer in the world. Because people watch 4-hour episodes of him. They are invested. Who's making more sense?
You don't watch a 4-hour film. Do you know what I mean? If you see, even if you go to cinema, you see it like 2 hours. You think, fuck, that's long.
Oh my! I never even thought of that one. That is such a perfect example.
Do you know what I mean? See in the cinema, people go to sleep an hour and a half. Like, no, I'm going to sit and watch 4 hours of two geezers chatting. But you learn so much.
So to go back to the question of what people perceive me as, it's pretty accurate. People are like, they meet me in person, they're like, oh, he's just yapping away like he is in videos. So it's super chill, and I'm thankful for that.
We've funny you say that, because we've spoke about this recently, and we've said that from being in the game now for only a year and a half.
Yeah, man.
We're babies, right? And then meeting other people that have got what looks like clout online.
Yeah.
They're speaking of perception, what Oz has just said, we've realised so many people are so different in real life compared to what they try to show themselves online, man.
Oh, bro, it's funny. It's always you can kind of tell. The fitness industry is actually quite humble, because everyone's working out and everyone wants to help other people work out. I've actually met good people, really good people from the fitness industry, even the biggest people. But then you meet some people they're I don't know, crypto influencers or fashion influencers, and they just got a little ego on them. And I've met those people, and I said, that is not what I want to be like. It's treat everyone the same, but it doesn't matter if they got numbers on a screen. I'm like, are you cool, dude? Good energy. Are you polite? You polite to the waiter? That's the ultimate test.
100%.
And so that's what I care about. Not these. You can even buy your followers if you want. Not these kids posing next to a Lambo.
We call them out all the time, mate. Call them out.
We're not going to ask you to do it. We call them out all the time.
I'll do it. Bring them on. Bring the fuckers on.
The reason why we always bang on about it is because we're in the era of social media, and it's so hard to see what's authentic nowadays online, because everyone's, like the boys said, always posting all their highlight reel of their life.
Yes.
And like you said, I feel like because you're always talking to the camera since day one, people got to see you on your journey and understand who you are and learn and grow with you.
Yes.
And I think that's why YouTube's so powerful as well, because they get to grow and see your character development.
It's like you're really getting invested in someone's life, and you see them growing up, and it's just nice. There's loads of people that I have followed since they started out in the industry or whatever, and I love seeing growth. I love seeing someone. It's like a real life movie. So that's how you build a hardcore audience. And also, quick one, the fact that you guys have been doing this a year and a half, I'm jealous. I'm like, what? I've been killing myself for the last decade. I'm like, but that is just amazing with you guys. I see you guys pop up constantly.
That's the thing. That's the thing for you as well. You're like an OG in the YouTube game. You must have seen it change from one extreme to another. When it comes to monetization, what people can post, the type of content people want to see. So for you, when you look at the industry, what do you think is the biggest change from the time you started up until this moment now?
So very interesting, right? Well, TikTok didn't exist.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
I'm like, what an old man over here. I'm like, what's this TikTok app? You know? So, like, vertical content didn't even exist. And, like, you know, don't get me wrong. I was kind of hating on it a minute ago, but, like, it's still powerful.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you get a video that just pops off. You know, you're making sales to your program. You know, you're getting new opportunities. Don't get me wrong. I still think long form is better, but I'm not knocking vertical. I'm posting a shitload of vertical too.
Yeah, cool.
So what I've seen change is of course that. And then, so it kind of fitness industry goes in waves. So at the start, when I started, it was really just raw vlogging, you know, just pick up your phone, pick up your the G7X, and, you know, get to it. And then everyone started hiring like videographers and getting it to the next level, which is still great. But people got a little bit sick of that, you know, the flashiness, you know, and now they want to just, hey, give me good training and nutrition advice. How do we be healthier? And that's why guys like Sam Sulek.
Yeah, literally. His content's so
it's
basic
the best,
and so dry.
It's the most perfect example of just literally this kid.
Oh, okay, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like it's almost like unedited raw footage.
That's currently the trend now.
it is,
And I actually watch it myself. You know, it's just nice
Unedited as it is.
Yes,
It's more
and again, a
authentic.
podcast is pretty much unedited as well.
Completely,
You know, like maybe the odd word here and there,
That's
or the
it.
odd sentence, but you know, it's more or less just an uncut conversation.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the trends are going.
And that's what we pride ourselves on, and what we tell our audience as well, man. Like, we are no different in person to how you see us.
Yeah, I can tell.
Online, right? We're just exactly the
Not
same
trying to be
people.
anyone.
Yeah.
Stay humble, and we've said, like, no matter what growth and success that hopefully comes in the future, we'll still be those humble guys that come from humble beginnings.
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're just not those type of people, man.
Yeah.
That's
and
kind of-
another trend, right? That it's just very similar to the YouTube thing. I love like social media. It's all very interesting. So talk about that as well. But remember when like people started putting captions on their vertical videos? They're all like big yellow cartoon things.
yeah.
Now people have gone back to like little minimal words. It's way slicker. Like it's way cooler, you know? So it's funny, like people don't want the overdone flashy stuff anymore. What's going on, guys? You are watching the Graft Kings podcast. Be sure to hit subscribe, like, all that good stuff. See you in the next one. Peace. Don't pursue your passion, pursue your talent.
Yeah.
Okay? You look at all these hedge fund managers who are ultra successful. You think they grew up being like, I want to be an investment banker. I want to be a hedge fund manager. No, but they're doing it and they're killing it. So you don't always have to like, you know, do something creative. You don't have to be an astronaut. So instead, look at what you're talented at doing and then pursue that. And I guarantee you will get a passion for it. Now, I'm very lucky that the only thing I was good at was doing fucking bicep curls. So that's how I got into fitness, you know, because it was the only thing I could be consistent with in my life. Like, you know, we spoke about that kind of era when I was just fucking living in that weird house and I was around 20 and I had no direction. I had a little bit of direction, and I could make it to the gym every single day.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is the only thing I could do. Like aside from that, I was drinking a lot. You know, I was gaming, fucking just the devil right there, and I was doing really nothing in life, and as mentioned, failing everything and getting fired from jobs. So I looked at what I was talented at and what I could stick to, and that's how you find it. So any young lads listening, just think like, what's the last really good thing you did? What's the last thing you did, and you're like, oh, that felt right. I felt proud doing that. Then pursue that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a really fucking good advice.
You know when you picked up when you picked up the camera the first time and you started filming, did you ever envision it lead into this?
What's up? How's it going? So when I picked up my camera for the first time, yes and no, okay? Like I always believed in myself and I always said, you know, I want big things, but you just really don't know. So I said, I'm just going to do my best and, you know, run with it. Had belief in myself, but didn't have a clue.
Okay, fair enough.
Wow. But did you envision that being the long-term thing? You're like, this is actually what I want to do forever. Whether it landed you where you are now or not, do you feel as though you would still be doing fitness?
Yes, there's actually one of my third ever videos, and like I'm in that shitty house, you know, the background's fucked, and you know I look so young and everything. And I said, someone goes, "What is your goal with this channel?" I was doing a Q&A, and I was like, "I want to be, you know, the biggest fitness YouTuber in Ireland.
Wow.
This is what I want to be." So I got receipts. You know,
Nice.
I got receipts.
Nice.
So you know, I
Receipts.
believed in myself. I had vision, but of course, you don't know where things are going to go.
And even if you didn't start to see the success that you saw over a period of like a couple of years, would you still have just gone, no, this is just what I enjoy, so this is what I'm doing?
That's one of the things with me. I got that dog in me.
Yeah, nice.
I'm resilient as fuck. there's been like months and even like some years that weren't as good as the other.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I'm literally just like, I'm out here. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Nice,
I'm like,
man,
if you
nice.
give me an axe, I'll go into the woods and fucking chop trees all day. I don't care. You know, I'll just keep going. Resilient motherfucker. That's one thing I've always been.
That's hard.
Even when
mentality
I
to
get
have.
some big fails, and this is really good advice right here, and I wish someone told me this, right? Okay, humor is so powerful. When something fucks up, when you fail at something, you get the biggest setback, have a laugh.
Yeah.
You know, just have a laugh
true.
at it, right? Like, find the funny moment in it. Like, look at yourself and just be like, hey, you know, if I was on the outside looking in, you'd look like a real dumbass right now. You know, and once you start laughing, you take things less seriously.
Yeah.
You just kind of flow through life. You Neanderthal your way through life.
What's been your biggest L, Rob?
So actually, as I mentioned, the sellout event.
Yeah.
The first event I ever did, I tried to do it in Raw Gym in Dublin.
Yeah.
So I put these. So funny now that the price of the current event is €700 to go. You know, there's a yacht party, there's a free bar.
Lovely,
Like
okay.
There's 8-figure speakers. It's well worth it.
Yeah, sure.
The first event I ever tried to do in Dublin was €50, and it was just me like giving a talk in a gym. Didn't sell one fucking
Oh wow,
ticket.
okay.
And everyone in the fitness industry, the bodybuilding community in Ireland, were like, look at this guy. Who does he think he is? And you know what? I left the website up for a week, and I took it down because I was so embarrassed that it didn't make any sales. And then I actually I got a few messages being like, hey, you know, we're coming to your event. Like, where can we get tickets? And I'm like, the event was in like 8 weeks, and I'm like, I should have just left it.
Yeah.
I should have left
Yeah.
it up. Even if like 10 or 20 people showed up, I should have just left it. So oftentimes when we take these big L's and shit falls on its face and flops, you're actually like, you just need to give it a time. You need to be patient and stay calm. Calmness is just a cheat code for life.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, that was a big one.
Now look, sold that event at 700 quid a ticket.
It's a perfect example.
Yeah, wow, that's solid,
I'm
man.
really happy with that.
Where is this next event?
Oh God, you guys are all invited, by the way. You guys, yeah, it's in
was waiting
June.
for that.
Yeah, it's in June 7th,
Nice.
7th, 8th, and 9th. So day one is like, you know, there's a VIP ticket and a standard ticket. So VIP ticket's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Nice.
Standard is Saturday, Sunday. So the VIP ticket, it's a little pre-party in my house, in my actual house. And then we go for a really nice dinner with all the speakers. So like very, you know, small networking, learning from people at the top of their industry. Then Saturday, it's on the Golden Mile, this like amazing auditorium. Like, it looks so slick. Big screens, everyone just talking about their journey, kind of like a big podcast all day. And then we go out for dinner that night, and then a big ass yacht is going to sail us around Marbella. And then Sunday, live workout with myself. Going to be a few hanging heads that day. And then a beach day in Chiringuido.
That sounds like
Yeah, that
So
sounds like a
it's the
good
ultimate.
weekend.
It's the ultimate Marbella weekend. It's productive and it's fun.
Listen, I'm sold. I'm there.
Yeah,
You guys are speaking at it.
yes.
How much does it pay?
700.
In the content game, who's one of the biggest people you would say you've created content with that you kind of say, that's huge, like I'm working with these guys and this content's gonna blow, it's gonna pop. Like, who would you say you work with?
So, pretty crazy story. You know Body Power?
Yeah.
Of course, you fucking
Yeah,
Brits.
we've all
It's
been
like,
there.
It's like the Olympia for UK people. So I used to go and queue up to meet everyone, you know, and then over the years I started going there sponsored. But anyways, going back to the, you know, when I was just going there as a fan, I would of course love to meet Christian Guzman.
Yeah.
Now he's one of my best friends.
Wow.
So I was at his wedding last 2 months
Bloody
ago
hell.
Oh, wow.
in the Caribbean, and so. They say, what's the quote? Work so hard until your idols become your rivals. No. Work so hard until your idols become your bros.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
That's what you
That's a
want to be.
statement.
So I saw, like, you know, what he was building with Alpha Lead. He was and currently is, like, still pretty much one of the number one
Smashes
fitness
it, doesn't he?
YouTubers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be in with this crew. And so that's another thing, right? A lot of people will look at, like, a popular group of guys or, like, a successful group of guys, and they'll say, oh, you know, I want to network with you. Bring me out. What the fuck are you bringing to the table?
Exactly,
You know,
facts.
you are providing no value. So I said, I'm going to work on my brand, my YouTube, my content, my information. I'm going to work up the hierarchy until I ask for a handout,
Yeah,
until
yeah.
I go meet you guys. So that's one thing that people get so wrong about networking. They think they can just deserve to
Yeah.
hang out with the big dogs.
Yeah.
I was like, what have you done?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
have you
yeah.
done?
To the
So
table.
that's a big piece of advice that a lot of younger guys need to hear.
Yeah, that's solid, man. All about just building your personal brand.
And earning your stripes.
Yeah,
exactly.
too right.
Earn your stripes. Whatever industry you choose to go down, whatever talent you
Yeah.
pursue, say, who's at the top and how can I get closer to that? Because that's also what men are born to do. We're born to climb.
Yeah.
Like, it's in our primal instincts. Like, that's what makes us happy when men are building shit.
Yeah, so true.
Building a fucking house, building
Yeah,
a
yeah.
brand, or building a physique.
Yeah.
That's what makes us happy. And do you know what? Another one on that note. Have you ever watched the Tyson Fury Joe Rogan podcast? Okay,
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you did or not, but it's only about an hour long. It's like super short. But I'll never forget something he said on that. He was speaking about his depression and like his severe depression, and he said the only time when he would get depressed is when he had nothing to work towards.
Yeah,
I
I've seen
see
this.
that.
I've seen this.
It doesn't even matter if you're like failing.
Yeah.
At least you're trying.
Yeah, you're
And
working
it's when
towards
when you
something.
idle minds, when you just let your thoughts wander and you've nothing to work
So
towards,
true.
that is when your brain goes to shit.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
if you think about it, I deep this a lot, right? It's when people actually retire, they start deteriorating.
Yeah.
It's
For
because,
sure.
like, don't get me wrong, like, I see people working to a certain age. I'm like, you're doing that because not because you need the money.
Yeah.
It's because you're just keeping everything active.
And you know what? That's why you see a lot of these motherfuckers. They're like billionaires doing Ironmans.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they're,
yeah.
they're
That's
just
it.
these dogs that need to push themselves, be it in business, in the boardroom, or like a fucking Ironman.
Yeah,
like,
man.
you've seen
Makes you feel alive, right?
Actually, a crazy example. Those billionaires that like died in the submarine.
Yeah,
I'm like, what were you guys trying to do? You didn't need to do that. They're just like, we must get to the bottom of the sea. I'm like, chill the fuck out, lads. But that's just how these individuals are. Like, you
So
see people
true.
climbing Mount
Yeah.
Everest and all this shit. So
When you deep it, what were they doing?
Yeah, man.
They've run out side
man,
missions. They're just doing side missions.
They had to pay to do
literally
it.
this.
Yeah.
They had truly ran out of. They've gone to every swingers party and sex party in the
Yeah.
world. They're like, how do we literally push the limits on our life?
How do we risk our life the most today? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's
That'll-
actually-
I'm going to pay for that.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
like one of the
R.I.P.
boys, when one
Titanic
of the
guys.
boys
Yeah.
goes,
Oh,
"Let's do
R.I.P.
this."
by the way.
R.I.P. guy.
It's like when one of the boys goes, yeah, let's do this, and it's a stupid idea. We're like, we're all in.
Yeah, yeah. If you do it, I'll do it.
understand
Yeah.
Everyone's like, sign me up.
Women never understand. Look, if your
Yeah.
boys jump, you're gonna jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
No problem.
That sounds dumb. I'm in.
yeah.
I'm in.
Precisely. That's why men don't live longer.
Yeah, yes.
That's
That
it.
is so true.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is, if you had to start again today from zero, and I'm not discrediting you in any way when I
Yeah.
say this, but when you started, I believe that you was probably a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah, I was the first Irish fitness YouTuber.
So-
There
Yeah.
was no. So go on, finish.
No, what I was
finish.
going to say is like you was a big fish in a small pond, and now obviously the game is very saturated. Everyone's got a camera now. Everyone's filming. Everyone's putting up their material. So if you had to start from zero again, do you reckon you'd still have the same impact that you did back then?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. In Ireland, anyways. Okay, so I was the first ever Irish fitness YouTuber. There's a fact, fitness vlogger, whatever. To this day, there is still only a handful. There's
Yeah.
like me, Caroline O'Mahony, Glenn Gill, who
Yeah.
are doing
I know
long form content.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone is putting all their attention on vertical. Like, there's every PT in Ireland is how to track your macros. Still, no one is doing these long form podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, it's because it's more difficult.
It's more
It's
work.
crazy. I'm like, it is still so unsaturated. Certain things
I
are
say
like
that.
TikTok saturated,
Yeah.
Reels
Yeah, yeah.
saturated.
Yeah.
Okay, certain things are, but I would just hop straight back on long form YouTube.
Long
Literally what I
form,
do.
right.
And to this day, if I go comment, anyone look at this comment, tell me who are Irish fitness vloggers. It's me, Caroline, and Glenn, who I'm friends with them all. That's it. It's three.
Do you know what? You said a really good
ridiculous.
quote on our
That's
last
crazy.
pod actually about that. A saturated market is a good market.
I said the saturated market is a working market.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
man.
look at that as like you can't do what they're doing. I just look at that and go, okay, it works clearly.
Yeah.
You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to do it in your own version
Yeah.
and put your own spin on it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Literally perfectly said. And it's like, hey, guys, come on, just be the best. Come on. No, and like, seriously, you can literally, this is a hack for YouTube as well. Sweat's coming down now. This is a hack for YouTube as well. You can go into videos and, like, let's say you're looking at something in the top of your industry. You click videos and you go sort most popular. Right? You just see their best videos. You get their 10 best videos. Don't copy them, of course, but there's some 10 videos you can do and that you can give your take on it.
Yeah.
There's no new ideas.
That's actually
there's no new videos.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's
golden.
done everything.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
It's like what I said in the last pod. I said bread's been around for thousands of years, but it's yet people are still
Yeah.
making new brands. And selling them.
That's right. Yeah.
I love that exactly.
So
yeah.
true.
Invested into the person though. It's just it's
Yeah,
the
that's it.
story behind the
People
person.
buy
It's
into
not-
stories.
Like everyone's got abs, but it's like, how did you get them abs, and how did you like kind of create the content around that? They invest into you as a person.
Exactly.
And that's what I think people miss when they look at like a brand or a certain trick in the business. Is they only think about this and how to do that, but no, it's the story behind how this got here. Is what people don't know.
People
Have
buy
you,
people, man. People buy people.
Have you seen the brand Liquid Death?
No.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay,
Liquid Death.
look it up. So it's a water brand. Okay.
Right.
What? Same as this, and they made their cans look like beer cans.
Yeah.
And then they called it Liquid Death. And it's still water. And so their marketing, they've got like 4 million followers now. And it's
That's
worth
crazy.
worth $1 billion. But they just rebranded
it's
water
water.
and
Selling
made it like
water.
a joke. Selling water. Look it up. It's absolutely
insane.
insane.
Crazy.
You reckon they just sit in a ballroom and just laughing at
Yeah.
everyone?
No, the owners are two lads, and they're fucking hilarious. They do. They're like, "Oh, you suckers," and then the audience like, "Yeah," like it's
love it.
funny.
I'm a sucker, yeah.
They made a joke out of it, and that's it. It's all about how you package things.
Branding is
crazy.
everything.
Marketing is so
Marketing and
important,
branding is
yeah.
everything,
For sure.
isn't it?
You can have the best product in the world, and if no one sees it, no one sees
one's
it.
buying
So
it now.
true.
Can I
so true.
ask?
Yeah.
This is coming off on a tangent, but
Yeah.
why Marbella? I mean, it's a beautiful place. It's amazing. This is my second time in this place. Love it.
Yeah.
But how comes like you've looked at this place and said, I want to live here?
That's why.
That's what you guys can't
Yeah, lads, if you can see what Rob just saw, you'd say the same answer.
That was perfect timing.
I don't
So,
understand.
so basically, right, there's actually 3 places on the planet that ticks these boxes. Okay, so hot weather,
Yeah.
entrepreneurial community, a glamorous scene, year-round sun, outdoor gyms,
Yeah.
really good gyms, amazing restaurants, beautiful landscape. Okay, and that's
See you later, girls. See you
bye-bye.
later.
And so that. And yeah, beautiful people. Yeah, for sure. Come on, you can fucking say that. And it's Dubai, Marbella, and Miami.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so I'm not going to move to Miami. I love going there, but it's very far away. Dubai.
Yeah.
I'm actually a resident of Dubai. I'm actually a citizen.
Lovely.
Just little
Yeah.
black hander.
Yeah.
But I wanted
Cheeky,
somewhere
cheeky.
that's in the EU, so I have an Irish passport. I can just
Right.
go here.
Yeah.
And then so for me, that just ticks every single box.
Nice.
And so I actually moved here. I was living in London, and I moved here post-COVID, and I just got an Airbnb for 1 month, and then I was like, I'm actually working more here. I'm actually more productive here.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm filming more. I'm in the gym more. I'm getting killer shape. I'm swimming in the sea every day. I'm eating healthy food. I'm thriving here.
Nice.
Whereas, as you guys know, the UK and Ireland can be very, very depressing.
Very negative.
Just
Very-
straight
especially
up.
now.
And if you're doing something like this, you're doing something out of the norm. Crabs in a bucket mentality,
Yeah.
man. Crabs in a bucket. People will see that tall poppy syndrome. They see someone else rising above. They want to cut them off.
Yeah.
So
So
true.
that's it. And
To see
when
it.
you go to a place like this where everyone is just from everywhere else and everyone's quite successful, they don't fucking care.
Yeah.
They want to see you do well.
That's right,
They
yeah.
want to see
Yeah,
you do
it's
well.
spot
And it's
on.
like if you go to a massive city in America, LA, New York, Miami, it's the same. Or
Yeah.
London, it was the same as well. It's just too big a place and just too many successful people for people to even gossip about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And so Ireland's a very small
I've
town,
always
so
said
there's
that
a lot of
people at
that.
the top, whether you go to a bodybuilding gym or like you're starting a business and you hang around with millionaires, or
Yeah.
you hang around with the biggest guys in the business. These people never laugh or look down at you. They just want you to like, how can we help, bro? Like, here's a little bit of advice for you. Do this, do that. Like, they just want to see you succeed.
So all the most successful people I know
Yeah.
are the nicest.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice guys finish first.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Do you want to know the biggest fucking dickheads that I've ever met? These people that with no job, no
Yeah.
money,
Yeah,
nothing going for
that's
them,
so
in
true.
shit shape, and they hate life and hate radiates from
Yeah.
them.
themselves.
They hate themselves and they hate life, and they're just the energy. You can tell.
Yeah,
It's
man.
just,
Offers
whoa,
and that.
you're just getting the hate, and they're like rah, they're angry. All the most successful people I know, they're just sitting back, relaxed. Hey, life's
Yeah.
good, buddy. Here, I'm gonna help you. Here, let me make this connection for you.
Yeah, love
That's
that's
so
what it's
true.
about. man.
Honestly, nice guys finish first.
Yeah,
That's
I
actually
like
how
that.
we got this. For a
Yeah.
contact, for a contact, for
Yeah.
a contact. Like,
Yeah.
it just networking. People just want to help you out, and the
Exactly.
people that gave it to me are all successful.
Yeah, that's right.
So
They're
that's
all
how it
friends
is.
of friends, and they're like, yeah, no problem. They trust their judgment. We perform well. We do well for them. It's just like, yeah, do you know what? We do that again for them.
Yeah.
So it's life. I've definitely learned, especially in my older years, that relationship building is
So
absolute.
important.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
just it's a key to life, man. Like,
It's kind of like the only thing that is really going to make you happy in life. It's the
Yeah.
only thing that like you can really just like you'll think back on life and you won't think about like that time you closed a deal for like $2,000 or $5,000. You'll think of like the relationships you had throughout your life.
Yeah, moments like this.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Cheers to that, boys.
Yeah, absolutely. You look back at stuff like this and go, like, what a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what a day that was. There's no money involved. There's no boats or yachts or fancy cars. We're sat in News Cafe in Marbella.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be thinking, what are the guys talking about? They're not our boat.
Not ours.
Our boats,
Yeah, not yet.
And we're
Not
just,
yet.
like,
Not yet.
Sat having a good old chat. Like this is things you remember.
Yeah.
Boys, if you're wondering, Dripped Out, Mooty, if you don't know, get to know. They're an online fashion retailer. We're partnered up with them, keeping you boys dripped out for summer. 20% off everything on their website. Just put in the code GraftKings and you get 20% off everything.
Rob, this is a good question for you, I think, considering where you're at now in your life and something that we try to stress to our viewers as well, right? It's two questions rolled into one. Firstly, have you ever had a mentor? Two, do you still have one? And what has been the importance of having someone like that in your life? Like, what is it do you feel as though they do for you, and how important is it do you feel to have someone that you can sort of talk to and go to for advice?
That was more than two.
I got that. Yeah, I'm gonna smash them all out. So, I didn't have a mentor starting out because there was no one doing what I wanted to do. So I was the first Irish fitness YouTuber. I've said that like 100 times. So I had no one who had walked my path before. There was no one even in my area that I could speak to, you know. So I had to look online, really. You know, and it was kind of weird. Like I watched so much YouTube. Like YouTube kind of raised me in a little bit. My father wasn't present in my teenage years. Now we're great pals again. You know, we've reconnected in recent years, which is I'm very happy with that. We'll go into that in a little bit. But you know, growing up and in my teen years, no, I did not. I wish I did, and it is so invaluable. The only time I felt like I've had a mentor or mentors is in recent years when I started having a great network and started connecting with, you know, guys like, you know, Christian and all the people in Dubai and Max Tuning and all these other guys that are killing it. And so I didn't have a mentor per se, but I managed to build myself a network of people that will give me amazing advice and support me. Yeah, but if you can, you just find someone, how to find a mentor, right? You find someone who has walked the walk that you want to walk.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you just say, how can I network with this person? How can I connect with this person? How can I provide value to this person? Like, you know, if someone wanted me to be their mentor and they're like, hey, I'll be your videographer or edit your videos, like, you know, help you with that, I'd be like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, tell me exactly what to do. So you just, and that can be applied to anything. It doesn't have to be YouTube or fitness, like whatever industry you want to go in. Look at who is where you want to be and say, how can I help this person? How can I provide value to this person?
Yeah, solid, man, because that's essentially like what we try to be for our viewers, because we didn't have, same as you, we didn't have that growing up. We didn't have someone, we had people telling us the wrong stuff to do or nothing at all, right? And so a lot of our audience now say to us, and our boys say to us, like, they look at us almost like their older brother.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to try and be for these guys.
I
right?
get that
Do you know what I
vibe
mean?
from you guys, and it's actually really nice. And like, you know, a lot of you guys, you could look at you guys and, you know, the shades, the watch, the jewelry, the muscles, the tats, and you could be like, you know, who are these dickheads? But it's like, you're like a bunch of big brothers. You're like all really nice. And most of the time. No, but I can definitely, you know, get big brother vibes off you guys.
That's
no
nice,
homo.
man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
A lot.
Awesome.
Speaking of mentors, what's your relationship like with Conor McGregor, if there is one?
Yeah, so we were talking a while ago, just over DMs. So I've always been a big Conor fan, I guess you could say. And so, like, we're from Ireland. We're both from Dublin. And so I've watched his rise, like, very closely. And there's one thing that I hate is when people from Ireland hate on him. I'm like, no, this is the small poppy syndrome thing. Like, I can't believe it. Our one, like, UFC champion, you're choosing to hate on him. Yeah. It's just such that small town mentality. But I really like him. We've met many times. We met at the Mayweather fight after he fought Mayweather in Vegas, and just like in Mallorca we met, you know, in Dublin, and he's a great guy, and, you know, I can't wait for his fight against Chandler. That's probably the only sport I actually follow and watch is UFC. You know, I don't keep up with too much team sports. Like, it's very time consuming. I'll just watch the odd UFC fight. But look, I absolutely love Conor.
He's a legend.
I think he's a legend. And anytime I've met him,
He's full of energy.
He's full of energy.
Who's done what he's done?
No,
Yeah.
He's a billionaire now.
literally no. He's a billionaire. He's like the highest paid athlete
Crazy,
in the world.
isn't it?
It's crazy. Yeah, but
Phenomenal,
I got love for Conor.
Yeah, we love Conor.
Yeah,
That's a dream for us.
The
is
dream,
to-
oh, that's my dream podcast guest as well. He, like again, he hasn't even been on Joe Rogan or
He's done
anything.
nothing,
I don't
yeah.
think he's allowed to podcast.
He-
Probably not.
He's too outrageous, isn't he? He's too outrageous. He's never done a pod. No,
I don't think I've
no.
seen one of him.
No, he's not done one.
cancelled. That's
Nev-
why.
yeah, exactly. He's unhinged.
Can't hear that.
Yeah.
He's done long interviews, but he's never done an actual podcast.
Yeah,
No, never. Yeah,
exactly.
never done a
There
sit
must be a
down.
reason behind that.
I think I've actually looked into this. I think it is in his like his managers just like
Really?
no, because they can like ask him all crazy shit.
Right, right, okay,
I
fine.
think like when you get to that level, you have to be a little bit censored.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Can imagine.
Talking of levels, though, you've upped the level. You're at a certain point in your life, I would say, most people dream to be at.
Yep.
What would you say is like the next step of where you want to be and where you're trying to get to?
Yeah.
If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's something that I've been thinking of in the last 2 or 3 years, especially after like being set up here. You know, the white car, the white picket fence, and the sun's out. And I actually went through a huge phase of demotivation, and like I was like, oh, this is it. You know, I'm like, this is all I want.
Yeah.
This is all I ever wanted, and like I've got it now. And then I'm like, what do I do next? So it was actually like kind of a weird funk I was in for a while. Wow. And then I guess and then there's also the point like, oh, do you set yourself bigger goals? And you're like, I want more.
Yeah.
Or do you just be happy?
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like, am I meant to want more? So that's something I'm actually trying to figure out right now. You know, I'm super happy with my life and the way things are
Yeah,
going.
that's a real honest answer as well, man.
that is just
solid,
the honest
yeah.
answer that I'm like, am I meant to want a supercar?
Yeah.
For what? Will I be happier sitting in a different shape of metal? So car is
So spot on.
shaping its different color of metal.
Yeah.
That's it. So
regardless
I'm trying to
where
figure that out right now.
No, I
That's
love
nice,
that.
man.
Yeah.
I was
That's
gonna
nice.
say, regardless where you are, I think finding peace and being content in your own life is the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, money, yes, it helps us to be able to travel, do the things we want to. But if you don't have that peace and tranquility, what's the point? So
What was
The
your
next
goal?
thing I can think of would be like family,
Right,
of course.
yeah,
but
yeah,
I think that's quite a given that everyone wants to start a family. This is the background music here.
banging.
now. Yeah. I will pay you to stop.
I will pay you to stop that. We should do that. Great, that's great. I'll pay you to stop.
Yeah. The humbleness is gone.
That was solid. But what was the goal though? Like when you first started out, what was it to be like? Was it like, oh, I want to be rich. I want the Lambo. Like, what was the goal?
Yes, it was always freedom. So I was
Freedom, yeah, of
working,
course, yeah.
and not a bullshit answer. And I'll explain why. You know, because pretty easy to say freedom. You know, no, I'm serious. So I was working. One of the last jobs that like I was working, because obviously there was many, and it was 9 to 6. Okay, in an office. It was just in a startup company, and you know, it was you clock in, and then till 6 you're at a desk, then an hour traffic to get home, and then I'd eat my dinner, then I would go to the gym, and then at about 9:30, 10 I'd get home, and then I'd work on my fitness business, you know, coaching, YouTube, editing until 2 a.m. Then I'd wake up again, 4 hours sleep, I'd wake
Do
up
it
at
all over
6
again.
and do it all over again. And I was like, I need to make this work,
Yeah.
because I am going to fucking off myself. I'm sorry, like I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to,
no, I hear
I'm
you, yeah.
going to, I am so depressed, and I am like, I cannot live this life for the next 20, 30, 40 years. I cannot do it.
Yeah.
So I need to find a way.
Yeah.
I need to be free and not have to clock in for all these hours. And people say, oh, Rob, it's only a 9 to 5. Everyone have. I just did. It just wasn't for me. You know, I would rather work less hours, take a pay cut, whatever. I just always wanted to be able to wake up, have a slow morning, and do whatever I wanted to do. So
That's
the
the
goal
life.
for me is always just freedom. And again, like, you know, I've made a lot of money, and what I care about is being able to do what I want to do that day.
When you wanna do it,
I want
yeah,
to
that's
wake
it.
up, chill out in the morning, have a coffee, get ready for the gym, go to gym, and then I'll get everything done. That's the most important thing to me, and that's why I also like I'm not pushed for the supercar and everything. The most important thing to me is honestly being able to wake up, like chill and go to gym, like
Solid,
and
yeah,
eat a
yeah,
nice
yeah,
meal, like
100%
cook
solid.
and everything. That's all
say
I
that to
ever wanted.
I literally said it to my mum. So like on the weekend, I just spent a lot of time with the family on the weekend, and then on Sunday, I took my mum for lunch and stuff, and we were just sat having lunch, and it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, Mum, soon I said, I'll be able to call you up and do this on a Wednesday afternoon and just go, Mum, do you want to go for lunch today? Like, I'm on my time, my business, and like, I can do this any day of the week with you.
I absolutely love that.
Like,
and that's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, man.
So what about you guys? What's always been your goal? What made you start this?
That?
Oh,
What you
that's
just
a story
said.
and a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
Literally,
What you
you
just
hit the
said.
nail on the head. That is literally our goal.
Couldn't put it better, yeah.
Doing this everywhere.
Yeah.
We've done, so where have we done? We've done Ibiza, Romania,
Dubai.
Thailand,
Dubai, and now Marbella.
It's so sick. And how do you guys monetize it? So, for example, the way I monetize things, there's obviously coaching is like my bread and butter.
Yeah.
There's the app, which has over 1,000 users on it per month, and that like runs itself. And then there's I do one-on-one coaching, kind of high ticket stuff as well. Then we have sponsors, YouTube, other little projects like fuel cakes, the pancakes, and all that good stuff. How do you guys monetize your stuff? Because mine is all to do with fitness. Okay. So I'm like, how does your genre fit into things?
So we've just signed to a sponsor that pays us like a salary every month.
Sick. Good feeling, eh?
Nice.
Feeling.
Amazing, incredible, yeah.
That's how it is.
It's lovely.
Nice.
So that's our main source of income, and then I'd say second place is TikTok. We earn quite a bit from TikTok now.
Oh yeah, because you get paid on views.
Yeah, right.
£1 every 1,000.
What?
Crazy.
Well, it was.
Oh
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
It's
They
the
dropped the
RPMs come
RPM,
down a bit.
yeah.
But still, it's still
You're
good.
still not
Still
going to
good.
say no to
No,
it.
exactly, yeah. And then YouTube, but YouTube's very little. We got paid from YouTube today. I think it's today, isn't it?
Okay,
24th? Yeah, 24th. Yeah.
So what I always say, it's not what you, it's not about the YouTube views, what you do with the views. So let's say I get a video with 1 million views. That typically pays you about €2,000. Okay, let's say I have those 1 million people. Let's say I have an ebook or a product or an app for €30. Forget 1 million views. Let's say I just sell 1,000. It's 30 grand.
Yeah.
So it's about what you do with the views, not
Didn't even think
the
about it like
revenue.
that. Wow.
So that's how you got to look at it, and that's why I know a lot of people, influencers or people who have a small following, and they're excellent businessmen, businesswomen, and they are cleaning up compared to these idiots with 1 million followers who don't know how to monetize anything.
Well, funny you say that. So I suppose we talk about it, can't we?
Yeah, we've got something coming.
Yeah.
talking about it.
We talk about it, yeah. Okay, so your business as well as ours, you asked just then in terms of what the goal was.
Yep.
Yes, we started this pod for the long-term goal of our own personal gain being freedom.
Yep.
But the other side gain for us was to give back to the boys of the mentors for being the mentors that we never had, right? So we have now built very similar to yourself. We have a cult following.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
cult.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not
No.
huge. It's not
No.
the
It
people
is
that do
niche
follow.
cult. Yeah. It
you
is.
know what I mean?
For
Like,
sure.
if we have say we've got 4,000 followers on YouTube, I guarantee all 4,000 of those are like cult
They
followers.
show up. They show up.
Do you know what I mean? You'd have 4,000 people stood there, right? And I'd rather have that.
Yeah.
And so, off the back of giving back in the way that we do now, in terms of trying to give advice of only what we've experienced and lived through in our life, mistakes that we made, what to do, what not to do, meeting influential people like yourself to give back to the boys as well, is now the next step for us is we're going to start a community.
Okay.
And in that community will be courses around dating, building a personal brand, fashion, networking, fitness. Like
That's
building
going to
a
blow.
brotherhood.
Yeah.
That's going to absolutely blow.
That's the next goal.
Yeah.
So we are building that for the boys. We spoke about it on a pod.
I just presumed you would have already. No, it's like perfect.
Yeah.
The only reason
it's
we didn't
going to smash.
Thank you,
exactly
brother.
what we said earlier is the imposter syndrome. We didn't feel like we was ready to do it. And someone said to us, boys, I don't think you understand. You're ready to do it now.
Yeah. It will be courses, meetups with us, coming to the gym with us on
Oh,
every
no
now and
way.
again, taking the
we
boys
wanna do all
out
of
for
that.
like a day out on the piss up with us and things like that. Go for a nice dinner. We do weekly video calls with the boys. They'll have online courses. But not only that, one of the main things we've realised, almost circling back to our original part of the conversation around networking, is a lot of young boys. Do you know what? I think a lot of men in general don't have a good network of friends.
They don't, yeah.
Oh, so there's actually statistics and there's facts, and now I don't know the exact one, but it's something outlandish that it's something like 50% of men or some shit don't have a best friend.
No.
No,
So
not
they
even
don't.
one.
They don't.
Never mind a group. They don't have one.
What really triggered it for me, so you know Chris Stapleton?
Yes.
So amazing guy, right? He put a quote out that, again, from statistics that said, how many people have a 3 a.m. friend? Meaning, how many people could you call at 3 a.m. and they would just be there for you? So they ran that statistics across, I think it was across the US, and across the average of men, how many friends do you think majority of males have to call at 3 a.m.?
0.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's horrendous.
0. That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's horrendous,
terrible,
right?
yeah.
And so the community, not only apart from the courses and all the learns, they are going to be in a community with guys that have joined that community for the same reason as them. And so they're going to now meet a whole bunch of new friends that are like-minded individuals that they can begin to build with. That's what we're doing for the boys.
That wasn't even a thing. Not even 5 years. I was going to say 10 years ago. It wasn't even really a thing 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, that's absolutely insane. And I have a question for you lads. So when you started this, did you lose any previous friends that you had? Like, did a few guys that you used to hang out be like, what the fuck are they doing?
I don't know about lose.
Not our close boys, no.
Yeah.
Our very core boys, no.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
we've definitely...
That's good.
We've definitely had that in the past 6 months or
6
so.
months we
Yeah.
started seeing certain people fall off.
Just fall off.
Yeah. Which is going to happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't understand why, but that's just... It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm able to say the same. Like, I went to school with these lads, and we're all still like super close.
Yeah,
and I'll
man.
never forget when I like started YouTube and everything. They were like sharing it in a night, like be
Yeah.
like, go support my boy, and that's what you need. But I know so many people that they start putting themselves on social, and their friends literally ditch them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like,
Weird,
people
isn't it?
are like cringe and they ditch them.
They just
you know,
don't want
and
to see them do better than them. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. But so yeah, I'm good to hear that you guys kept some OGs.
We've got a solid group of boys that we pretty much grew up with, similar to, went to school with, have been
Yeah.
everywhere, done everything. There's family in it.
Yeah.
I mean, like them boys, they support everything we do, and I don't think there's nothing in the world that
Yeah.
can split us up.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you guys all best friends?
I was literally about
Yeah,
to
yeah, no, yeah, I can tell. Yeah,
We're all best friends,
Yeah.
but like
I thought you were going to say.
what? Okay, come on. No, well, Mason just likes to talk over it sometimes.
Okay,
doesn't he? No, I'm only joking. No, he wanted to ask was like, how long do you think we've all known each other?
Oh, okay. So I was actually trying to figure that out because I'm like, I don't think it's like, I was already going to say like just before the podcast you started, or I was going to say like 10 years or something. Just one or the other.
The first answer.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I actually initially thought.
We've known each other our whole lives, basically. Born on the same day, same hospital, same ward.
Are you sure you're not related?
Yeah, probably somewhere.
Probably twins. Yeah.
These boys.
Inbred.
Whoops, cut that word out. But yeah, like you just said, we met 1 week, and then the following week we were filming.
But how did you meet? Like
Social media.
Literally, so
man.
the
And so
random
We met
story.
each other through socials.
Yeah.
We went away together to Ibiza, came back, and then at that point there was this talk about a podcast going on with some guy. Didn't happen. Me and him were talking, and he just went to me, bro, because I don't think anyone's really doing like a podcast in our area, like in the south, is it southeast?
exactly.
In the southeast. And I just said, he said to me, should we do one? I was like, cool. Do you want to get anyone else involved? He was like, let me ask Yo.
Only
No,
knew
I
him through
didn't
social
really, we
media.
just know each other from social
Only bumped
media.
into him once. He speaks to him. He's like, oh, you funny you say that. Me and my pal Mason, we wanted to do a podcast. So we all met at my restaurant, hit it off first time we met. And the next time we met was on set to film.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not that surprised because I've got like two groups of friends. So it's my friends from Dublin that I went to school with and grew up with, still extremely close. You know, they come out here, everything. And then I also have my YouTube fitness friends.
Yeah.
You know, that again, we all met through social media. And one beautiful thing about social media, I know it's tearing us apart, it's the devil, it can be so bad, toxic. But I've met some of the best people I know. I will never bite the hand that feeds me.
Yeah, man.
I will always be very grateful for social media, and I've met some life-changing people on it.
Mate, we wouldn't be sat here with you now.
Yeah, exactly.
Social media is everything.
Yeah.
Without
Thank you,
it.
Mark Zuckerberg. All hail.
It's how you kind of. It's all perspective, right? You can look at social media and use it to its advantage and scroll, or you could use it like we've all done and build something.
Yeah.
So it's there in front of you. Like it's just how you monetize it. That's up to you.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes is technology can either enslave you or set you free.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I saw that quote and it was like, have you ever seen like a room full of cubicles, you know, and people are locked in, like a prison cell. They look like little cells. But you can also say the same as like, it can enslave you if you're addicted to your phone and you're hooked in like this, or you can be using it to escape the matrix and start your own business and,
So true.
you know, get freedom back. So don't be, it's all right to consume things, of course. You don't want to be the consumer, you want to be the creator, ultimately,
Yeah, nice.
you know. Yeah.
We
That's
should
good
leave it
advice.
there, boys.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
that was
that was
solid.
really, really good. Rob, honestly,
That's sick.
I enjoyed every second
Yeah,
of
man.
that.
I'm buzzing.
The energy of that was unbelievable. I can't. It's still a bit surreal that we're actually sat here doing this in this place with you. So thank you very much, man. I really do appreciate
Guys,
it.
you guys are honestly gentlemen. Like
Yeah, man.
you're proper good lads. You know what I mean? Like I don't say that lightly. So thank you so
That was a
much.
pleasure, man.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Great conversation.
Have a great time in Marbella. Let's go.
Let's go.
Listen, guys, if you're new around here and you made it to the end, like, subscribe.
Leave a comment in the comment section.
See you in the
See
next,
you in the
people.
next.
Peace.
Peace.
That was smooth.